here's the thing. Even when there's nothing important to say, here we are together. And how nice it is to do that, right? And to be in kind of the like sweet and delightful usualness of a Tuesday together. And what better excuse do we need to practice and to be in community, right? That it doesn't actually require crisis or strain to be together. I've been thinking about this a lot with my body lately, about how interesting it is that I hear it when it's like yelling at me. Like, I'm definitely hearing you, right? And how important that is, right? And also how sweet it might be if there was a more regular practice of hearing it when it wasn't yelling or wasn't stressed or wasn't needing something. That, hi, yes, that in some ways, like, that is kind of what a relationship is. It's the difference maybe between someone that like once in a while you go on an exciting date with versus like something that feels like a deeper current. Not necessarily that any more time is spent together or that there's any more particular commitment to that thing, more that it's just a broader channel in which to be experiencing your life and sharing and talking about who you are and being in conversation together, right? What a gift it is to share the moments that are really so sweet because they are moments that we have every single day. And how special it is to celebrate those things and to practice those things with our sacred witnesses, whoever they are, the people in our life who we love to share what we cooked dinner with or what sort of socks we're wearing today. Because these little decisions are actually the magic that make up a life, right? So maybe as you're landing today, one of those such people comes to mind, someone that you love sharing the minutia and the beauty with, and the tiny little flowers that you find when you pull back like the blanket of grass, right? And just to land in this place in our own bodies, in our own capacity, and to know that we have tended to this temple of a body, and this is why it thrives. And also, in some small part, that being that witnesses you has also tended to it by seeing you and by holding some part of what makes you alive. And maybe you can let your breath be a vehicle that deepens you into that knowing, into the feeling of being alive in a body, and sensing the small feelings and movements and breaths that tell you that you are indeed alive here. And just notice where you've been carrying your tension today, and use your exhale to just soften and kind of spread that out a little bit so more of your body can help to support whatever it is that's being held. And your hands might like to come together in some gesture that helps you arrive here. Feeling into your diaphragm, expanding on your inhale, dropping down and opening. Full exhale. And then maybe there's a sound or a prayer that you'd like to vocalize here. And when you're ready, we'll make our way to child's pose or whatever shape feels right for you to begin today. And just some slow, deep breaths. Feeling into the space along the back of your ribs. Let your low back soften and widen a bit. Come forward to tabletop when you feel ready. Send your right leg back behind you. Press into the tops of your toenails on the earth. Feel your spine lengthen. Crown of the head long. And then if it feels okay, you can lift your right leg up in line with your right hip. You could stay with this or stretch your left arm out in front of you. Ideal. Take a big breath in. Reach long. And exhale, bring your elbow and knee to touch underneath your body. Inhale, extend out long. Really take your time. Exhale, draw in underneath you. Inhale, reach out long. Exhale, draw it in, elbow to knee. Reach it out long. You could bend your right knee. You could reach back with your left hand for your right ankle and then kick back to open up through your thigh a bit. Deep, full breaths. Press down into the right hand. Release, stretch your arm and leg long. And then bring your left hand down, tuck your right knee back behind your left. Open your right foot up to the left and left foot up to the right so your feet are wide. You might have to walk your hands a little to the left. Take a big breath in, open through your chest. And exhale, stretch back like you're coming back to child's pose, but with Gomukhasana legs. Inhale, come forward a little bit. And exhale, sink it back towards this child's pose. Keep breathing as you press your hands down. Stretch your weight back. If you sit back, you might be able to really feel into your left glute here. Good. Come forward. Sweep your right leg up and back and bring your knee to the earth around your back in tabletop position. Good. Long spine here. Lengthen out. Find some space across your collarbone. Stretch back through your left toes. Feel the toenails on the earth. Lengthen out through the back of your neck. And then lift your left leg up in line with your left hip. If you want, you could extend your right arm long. Totally optional. Take a big breath in, lengthen. Exhale, elbow and knee, or just knee curls in under the body. Inhale, reach out long. Exhale, draw in. Take your time, inhale, reach out. Exhale, draw it in. Reach it out long, you could stay here. You could bend your left knee, left foot up towards the sky, hold, or reach back for your ankle. Somewhere back there, and then kick back into your hand just as much as you need, right? Kicking back strong enough so that you're not falling forward. Maybe a little opening in your chest. When you're ready, release, extend long, bring your right hand down. You're gonna cross your left knee behind your right and widen your feet out. Yeah, knees are stacked. You can walk your hands a little over to the right. Inhale, open your chest, open forward a bit. And exhale, drop your tush back. You're on your way back to Gomukhasana, but your tush stays in the air. So you're in this child's pose, folding forward. Come forward one more time. Lengthen through your side body. And then exhale, shift your weight back. Let your head hang heavy. You might walk the hands back a little bit more towards you so you can drop back and breathe some space into your right glute. And just an opportunity to feel into and speak to the earth right underneath your hands and your feet and your breath here. what needs some sense of stability and support today, and letting those parts feel into the earth underneath you. When you're ready, gently come forward. You're going to start to sweep your right shin back as you lift your left leg up and back, stretch it, and then knee down, round your back. Walk your hands forward for puppy dog pose. Melt your heart towards the earth. Chin or forehead can rest. And feel the tops of your toenails stretch down towards the floor. Let your belly be soft here. It's just like the most important that we have an opportunity to not hold everything in really tightly all the time. Right? So letting the heart spill between the shoulders, letting the belly spill between the legs. Just like giving yourself some room here. When you're ready, you're going to come forward to Sphinx pose. Your legs can stay just where they are. Draw your torso forward. Spread your fingers wide. Yeah, maybe some gentle neck rolls here. Letting yourself land into conversation with your body here. Just starting to listen and feel into what's present. How your breath and energy is moving through you today. You might look over one shoulder gently. And take your time to look over the other shoulder. Good. When you're ready, come to center. Hands just slide back by your sides. Cobra pose on your inhale. Exhale back down to the earth. Feel your toenails ground towards the floor. Inhale, lengthen up for cobra. Exhale, soften the back of your heart towards the earth. One more time. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Stretch back through tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Stretch your right leg up and back into the sky. Big breath in. And step your right foot forward between your hands. High lunge when you're ready. Lift up. You can step your left foot in a little bit for support or out to the side, to the left. Cactus your elbows when you're ready. You're going to lengthen up through your spine as your elbows surrender back and your chest opens. Pull your outer right knee back. Deep breaths from your base. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, warrior three. Take your time. Track your gaze down towards the earth and shift your weight onto your standing leg. Arms out wide or hands by your sides or to the heart. All the way up to standing. Figure four, left ankle over your right knee. Let your arms open out to the side. They could turn to face up or arc to face down. Or eagle arms, left arm comes underneath the right as you sit back. Breathing into your right glute here as you soften your seat down. When you're ready, half moon. Grab your block or your book. Sweep your left leg back. Stretch your left arm up. I just heard a bunch of pops, right? So just know that some of these closed to open shapes are designed to open up some pockets of space in the body, right? Maybe ones that we haven't been occupying so much. So whatever comes from those places is perfect. If you're falling like I'm falling, amazing, right? Even more opportunity to be in the breath here. Skandasana to the back when you're ready. Left bum cheek to your left heel. You could stretch your arms past your ears. walk around, right knee down, low lunge towards the back of your mat. Cactus your elbows. There's a lift through your heart as your arms soften back. Hands circle down and around to your left foot. Shift your weight back. Half splits. You could point and flex your left foot if that feels good. Broaden and breathe across your collarbones here, across the chest. Good. Bring your weight forward. Rebend your left knee. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Pyramid pose. Halfway lift. Make some space. Exhale. Let your head hang heavy. Feel both feet really strong on the earth. Lengthen from your tailbone out through the crown of your head. Reach your right arm long past your right ear and let it lift you up to standing. You're going to keep coming around. Pivot your feet towards the front of the mat. Lift your left arm up. Lower your right arm down. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Reach forward. Revolve triangle. Left hand down. You might have to adjust your feet. Left foot in and to the left. Right arm up. Breathe across your chest and collarbones. Big inhale. Right hand down. Lengthen your spine. Inhale. Standing splits. Shift your weight forward. Left toes up. You could play with some handstand hops here or any sort of exploration that feels right. Take your time. We're going to land back in Warrior One. So whenever you're ready, you'll bend your front knee. Step your left foot back and rise up. Bend your right arm out in front of you. Left arm underneath and through eagle arms. Inhale, lift your forearms. Exhale, forearms to the instep of your right foot. Again, we're pulling back that right glute and you can soften down into it. I can definitely feel it here. Hi, buddy. Thanks for keeping us company. Gently release the arms, left hand down, lift your left heel, sweep your right arm up, open into a twist. God, right hand to the earth, right leg up and back into the sky. Anything that feels good. You can bend your knee, you can flip your dog. Give yourself the space of your breath. When you're ready, down dog. Come forward to high plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin lower down to the earth. Cobra pose, inhale. Exhale, lower, soften. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Exhale, melt back down to the earth. One more time, cobra pose, lift. Exhale, lower. You're going to bring your hands back behind you. Backs of the hands to the backs of your ribs. And forehead to earth, wrap your elbows down towards the floor. Breathe into the tops of your arms. Good, gently release. Cobra pose to lift up. Exhale, back through child's pose. Inhale, tabletop position. And exhale, stretch it back, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Out through your mouth. Left leg up and back into the sky, stretch. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Track your gaze up. High lunge, lift tall. Soft jaw, soft shoulders. When you're ready, lengthen your spine up as you cactus your elbows back and open. Feel your forehead open, throat open, chest open, pelvis open. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up. Find your center. Exhale, warrior three, any arms. Up to standing on your inhale. Figure four, right ankle over left knee. Arms could curve up or could curve down. Or eagle arms, left arm under right, lifting your forearms up as you sit back. When you're ready, lift up, sweep your right leg back, half moon. Feel free to let the foot come down, take a breath, and then stretch. You've got so much time and space to breathe into your own body here. Skandasana to the back. Take your time. Right bum cheek to your right heel. Maybe the arms stretch by your ears. Hands to the earth, pivot around back of the mat. Drop your left knee, low lunge. Sweep your arms up. So I can feel, because of what's happening in my low back and maybe in yours too, that there's a twist in this lunge, right? My front knee wants to come in, my back hip wants to pull back. So just check it out. What's happening on your right side? And what's happening on your left side? And notice how they're engaging with one another. And is there some way that one side can sort of rise up to meet the other so that they meet at the center? Yeah, and there's just the gentleness of sort of hugging in as you're expanding out with your breath. Cactus your elbows. Reach your arms up, hands down, shift your weight back, half splits. When you're ready, bring your weight forward, tuck your back toes, bump your back foot in a bit, pyramid pose. The more busy my mind is in a practice, or my body for that matter, the more dramatic I make my breath, right? It's gotta like meet the intensity of whatever is happening inside the container. So give yourself the grace of like a small sweet breath and also like a big exasperated sigh breath. These are all ways of affirming to your nervous system that you're hearing what's happening internally. And that can feel really cathartic. Lengthen from your tailbone to your spine. Send your left arm past your left ear. Lift up to standing. Keep coming around. Pivot, pivot towards the front of the mat. Bring your left arm down. Sweep your right arm up. Inhale. Exhale. Reach out and forward. Hand down. For revolve triangle. Left arm up. Big inhale. Exhale, left hand down. Lengthen your spine. Deep breath. Standing splits. Shift your weight forward. Right toes up. Any play that you want to do here, rolling up onto the ball of your left foot or reaching up for your right toes with your left hand. Or you could stay just where you are and breathe into the width of your toes. When you're ready, step your right foot back, warrior one feet. Inhale to rise up. Feel your right side come forward and in to meet your left. And then bend your left elbow out in front of you, right arm underneath and through, eagle arms. Inhale, lift your forearms. Exhale, take your time. Reach out and forward, maybe forearms come down to the earth. Soft forehead, soft jaw, some softness to meet the tension of the bind. Really feel into that tension, that squeeze and twist, and then feel it unwind as you unwrap, right hand down, left arm up towards the sky, right heel pops up. Deep breath. Exhale, hand to the earth, left leg up and back. You could stay here, you could bend your knee. You could take it over into a heart opener. But really this is a little bit silly because in the end, downward facing dog, all of these poses are heart openers. Otherwise we're not really doing yoga. Come forward, high plank. Take your time to lower down to your belly. Knees can come down. So in every shape, even one that we don't call a heart opener, there's a sense of expanding and breathing into the space inside and around the heart. Hands by your sides. Feel the tops of your toenails rest on the earth. Press down into your hands. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your toes. Keep pressing down with your hands. Locust pose long through the back of the neck. Lower down to the earth, rest for a moment, rock your hips side to side. Hands by your sides again, feel your toenails down into the earth. This time, inhale, lift up chest and hands, keep your toes down. This play between Shiva and Shakti, this play between thought and consciousness and action, means that you're breathing and expanding and opening, Shakti moving through you on the inhale, and on the exhale, come to rest. You're in a space of potentiality as you're breathing out and releasing the action or effort. And you're never not in relationship with one another because the exhale is deeply receptive. So as you are softening into conscious awareness without form, which is Shiva, you are arriving in the Shakti, right? In the bowl of the mother. So this is gorgeous play, right? Forever and always. What a miracle that we get to be a part of this like mating dance forever. Just by way of our breath and by way of this practice. Locust pose, bow pose, sphinx pose, whatever feels good here. Whatever makes the space for you to feel the inhale, animated, open, expansive, reaching up, and the exhale, softening, surrendering into being held. Let yourself come into surrender, release all the way down. Bend
bend your right knee, reach your right toes up towards the sky, and then reach the right foot back and across your body. You're pressing up onto your forearms. The right toe is reaching back and around. Keep pressing, come all the way up. Open your right knee out to the side for Janu Shirshasana. Left leg is extended long. Spin towards your left toes, left hand back behind you. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, reach out for the inside of your left foot. You can, of course, reach for the earth, reach for a strap, right? Anything that allows you to make space for the fullness of your body here. And not try to scrunch it or contain it into a particular shape in your mind. Inhale to rise up, plant your right hand back behind you. Inhale, press your hips forward, sweep your left arm back and open. Exhale, lower your tush to the earth, turn back towards the left leg. Inhale, reach your right arm up. This time, if you like, the right hand can come to the outside of your left foot. Or, no, right? You can bring it to the inside. It might feel good to reach down and kind of pull your belly open to the left so that your heart has some space to open out and forward. Good. Inhale, slowly rise up. Take your time. You're going to bring your hands around towards the earth. Dive back onto your belly. Cobra pose, inhale. Exhale, lower down to the earth. Bend your left knee, send your left toes up towards the sky. Reach your left toes back and open towards the right. Pause for a moment. Breathe into your side body. And when you're ready, press up onto your forearms. Keep coming up, keep coming up. Bend your left knee. Right leg is open. Wiggle around. Let your tush settle here. Turn towards your right leg. Right hand back behind you. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, reach for the inside of your right foot. Soft jaw. For some reason, our bodies love to do it one way or the other, right? Either totally soft or totally engaged. So we're constantly having to remind ourselves with the mantra of the breath, with the mantra of Sthira Sukha, that we're always cultivating both. This is our forever work. Good. Inhale, lift up. Left hand plants behind you. Let your pelvis lead. Breathe into it. And that takes you forward. Yeah, really open up. Reach your right arm back. Good. Find your way back down to the earth. Right hand behind you. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Maybe reaching for the outside of your left foot. You could pull your belly back a little bit and spin your heart towards your outer left knee. Make sure that the left shoulder isn't like dislocating to get you there, right? Plug it onto your back, lengthen out through the back of your right leg, curl your right toes back towards you. Inhale, slowly rise up. You're going to turn to the right, bring your hands around, roll back onto your belly, cobra pose. Exhale, lower seat to heels, child's pose. Pause here, breathe some length into your spine. You could take headstand here if that feels good. You could stand on your shins for camel pose, or you can come with me for thread the needle. So any of those poses that feel expansive for you, if you're threading the needle, you can lift your left arm up, open, and then thread it back behind your right wrist. For this variation, I'll stretch my right arm long. You're welcome to try it, or keep your hand down. And then stretch back. The tops of my right toes are pressing down into the earth. I could stay with this. I could start to, oh, there's a couch there. I could start to lift my right leg up towards the sky. can just stay mindful of the fact that I'm probably going to wobble and that my breath is a really important ingredient here. Take your time. If you're in thread the needle, you can unravel that side and switch sides whenever you feel ready. If you're in headstand, you could come down to child's pose at any time, or from camel, sitting back on your heels, rounding your upper back. And just give yourself the permission to like wiggle in whatever shape you're in. It doesn't have to be tightly held. There can be some spontaneous creative spaciousness there. If you're in thread the needle, you might unravel. Good. And find your way to tabletop position for a few cat-cows or some circles in the spine. When you're ready, you'll walk your hands a little bit forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips for downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop up to the top of the mat for Malasana. Yogic squat, toes out, heels in. Tailbone drops towards the earth, lengthen your spine. Your elbows can just gently open your knees out. And breathe across the width of your forehead, the width of your throat, the width of your arms, the width of your pelvis. Stay right here, or Bakasana, crow pose, if that sounds fun. You could also take a twist, opening one hand down, other arm up. There's just so much room in this practice for you to be taking really impeccable care of yourself and giving yourself so much love. What a beautiful thing to get to do. Maybe playing with crow prep, shifting your weight forward, lifting one foot up. Eventually we're going to meet in a forward fold. So when you're ready, feet to the earth, toes point forward. Halfway lift. If you've got a block or a book, you could use it to lengthen. And exhale, fold forward. Hands could stay on the block or come down to loop your big toes with peace sign fingers. Feel your sits bones lift skyward and widen here. When you're ready, you're going to loop your right big toe. If you haven't already, bring your left hand to your left hip. Shift your weight into your left foot. Start to pick up your right foot just a little bit. And you might bend your knees. You come to standing or keep the legs straight. If you fall, perfect, right? You get to reset. Eventually, you're stretching your right leg out with your left hand on your left hip. Feel your right hip descend towards the earth. Right leg comes out to the right, left arm comes out to the left. And then keep that right leg lifted as you release the foot and open your arms wide. Breathe into the width of your arms. When you're ready, bend your knee. Tree pose. You can use your hand to help place it above or below the knee. Maybe arms stay out wide. Maybe palms turn up towards the sky. And you can lift your gaze. Hands to heart. Hug your right knee to center, standing splits, hands to the earth, right toes up and back. Step your right foot back, high lunge, lift up. Inhale here. Exhale, cactus your elbows, lower your back knee towards the earth. Inhale, lift up, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, all the way down to a low lunge. Good. Soften your jaw. Reach your left arm up towards the sky, right arm down by your side. And then you can sweep your left arm back to your right thigh, calf, or heel. Or grab your blocker book, bring it on the left side of your mat, and your left hand can come back to rest on it as you lift your right arm up. If this doesn't feel good, that twist, right? Traditional half camel. Right arm back, left arm up. Good. When you're ready, come forward, half splits. You're welcome to play with extending your left heel forward, right? Maybe a block underneath your left glute. Stretching back through the tops of the right toes. And give yourself a little space here. Right side coming forward and in to meet your left side. Eventually we're going to bend the back knee. So you're in a half frog here. If you've been in half splits, you can just take your time to roll over onto your left glute, and then you're going to bend your right knee. Swing it back and open enough to where you can really feel your right hip flexor. Maybe making some space. And you can turn towards that right leg, and you'll feel your right hip flexor start to open as your right tush softens towards the earth. Turn around towards the left leg. You might stay right here, lifted, feeling into your right hip. You might fold forward over the left leg, which kind of takes it out of the right hip flexor. Good. Bend your left knee out in front of you. Yeah. 2 right angles with your knees. Walk your left hand, or walk both hands really over to the left, and you're taking a gentle twist. You might fold forward for deer pose. You might stay lifted here. And now you've got 2 right angles with your knees. Hands come back through center. Send your left leg out to the right. Extend it out long. And send your right leg long behind you. Tuck your toes. Lift your knee. Twist your heart towards the front of the mat. Plant your hands on the earth. Lift your left hip up. You're in fallen triangle. Good. Left knee to left tricep. Sweep your left leg up and back. Shake it out. Left foot forward, warrior 2. Flip your palms, exalted warrior, reach up and back. Extended side angle. Curl your right shoulder open. Exalted warrior. Maybe a half bind around your low back. Extended side angle. Exalted warrior, one more time. Straighten your left leg. Triangle pose. Grab your block or your book again. Bring it underneath your left hand. Extend along through your spine, through your right arm. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Lengthen your spine. Bend your left knee. Half moon. Up to eagle pose. Hug your right knee in. Stand tall. Wrap your right leg over your left. Right arm under your left. And sit back. Soften your heart forward. When you're ready, chair pose, unwind. All the way up to standing, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up towards the sky, interlace your fingers, pointer fingers face up. Feet hips width or even a little bit wider. Lengthen up on your inhale. Up and over to the left on your exhale. Tailbone reaching down towards the earth. Inhale up through center. Up and over to the right. Inhale, find center, reach. Exhale, fold, interlace fingers, lift your hands up and over your head. Good, release your arms, nod your head yes. Shake your head out. Bring your right hand to your right hip, loop your left big toe, shift your weight into your right foot, and just really slowly start to plug your left leg bone into your left hip socket. We're going to slowly come to standing with a bent or straight left leg. Set your gaze on something in front of you. Your left leg comes out to the left, your right arm comes out to the right. Feel the right and left side meet each other at your center. Release your foot, keep your leg lifted. Or do something else entirely. Perfect. When you're ready, bend your knee, tree pose. Palms point up or palms arc down. Good. Hands to heart, hug your left knee into center. Standing sleds, hands to the earth, left toes up and back. Step your left foot back. Drop your left knee to the earth. Sweep your arms up, low lunge. So you could do the twisted half camel, right arm reaches back for your left leg, or half camel, left arm reaches back for a block or for your leg. Spread the toes on your front foot here. Inhale, reach up, and on your exhale, hands come down. Shift your weight back for half splits. Play around with it. You can bend and straighten your front leg. You might like to stretch somewhere between half Hanumanasana and full Hanumanasana. Deep breaths into your low belly here. And eventually, if you're on a block or in half splits, you'll sort of roll over onto your right tush. We'll all meet bending the left knee back behind. And you're just going to very casually turn towards your back leg, right? That's probably plenty. I can feel my left hip talking to me. If you need to, you're welcome to fold forward or use your hand to hook outside your thigh and twist Just play around with it. We're coming up to that first edge where there's sensation and curiosity without, panic or alarm. So just play around with walking towards the edge and then coming a little bit back. Just a little bit of pouring weight towards my back leg brings me there, right? And a little bit of pouring weight towards the front leg takes me out. What a sweet thing to get to study how our life force moves through. Good, and then you might like to turn towards your front leg. You might stay exactly where you are lifted. You might fold forward. Your exhale can sort of soften you into your relationship with what's underneath you here. And whenever it's time, you can bend that front knee. So you've got 2 right angles for deer pose. Walk your hands over to the right. If it feels wonky on the low back, don't twist so much, right? So it can be a really gentle twist. You could stay lifted. You could walk your hands forward. Breathe in some space into your side body here. And whenever it feels like time, you're going to take this front leg, this right leg, and extend it straight out towards the left. Your left leg's going to stretch back, tuck your toes, lift your knee. So you're quite twisted towards the front of your mat. Plant your hands firm on the earth. Lift your right tush. You're in fawn triangle. Hug your right knee to your right tricep. Right leg up and back, shake it out. And right foot forward, warrior 2. Soften into the bend in your right knee. Find your alignment so you can really trust it. Flip your palms, exalted warrior, reach up and back. Extended side angle, exhale. Inhale, rise up, exalted. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, exalted. Straighten your right leg. You can walk the back foot in a little bit and reach your right arm out. Right hand down for triangle. Again, maybe it feels nice to have something to support you under your right hand. Send your tailbone back towards your left heel and reach long through your spine. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Bend your right knee, gaze down towards the earth. Half moon. All the way up to standing eagle pose. Left leg over, left arm under. Lift your forearms up, take an inhale. And then sit back in your seat, tip your fingertips down and forward. This pose reminds me of a fountain, right? There's this way of offering. From turning inward, from finding yourself, something pours out and forward. find the earth. All the way up to standing. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, long breath in. Chaturanga, step or hop back. Take your time. Cobra or upward facing dog. Big breath in. And slowly back to downward facing dog. Exhale. Lift your heels, bend your knees, hop through or walk forward to come down onto a seat. Take your legs wide here. You might grab a pillow from your couch. You might put the pillow out in front of you for support. Flex your toes. Yeah. You can widen your tush a little bit. Make some space through your spine. You're going to slide your right arm over your right leg. Reach your left arm up and over towards your toes. Thank you, Theo. Hi, buddy. Inhale to rise up through center. We'll take it over to the other side. Exhale. Inhale, find center. Exhale, fold forward. My cat has taken my pillow. You may have to share it, right? Feel the tops of your thighs just gently roll back. Sits bones widen towards the earth. And you really just don't have to wait for some future moment to get comfy here, right? You don't have to work to get to the comfy part. You can actually roll up 5 or 8 or 12 pillows to support you so that you get to be in the comfy part here from the beginning, right? There's something really powerful to be in your body and get to remind yourself that that sweetness and enjoyment is part of the growing process. That it's not all discomfort. You might like to stay right here. By all means, you can stay just where you are. If Gomukhasana or double pigeon is calling to you, you're welcome to just lift up and draw the legs in to stack your right shin or right knee on top of the left. You might keep that pillow out in front of you and fold a bit forward, or focus on finding length in your spine and feeling that energy upward, countered by the pelvis softening downward. And sometimes we do this exercise on our bellies where we reach the arms out, one elbow on top of the other. If you have a pillow, you can actually do this with your arms as you're folding over Gomukhasana or double pigeon. And get just a gentle stretch between your shoulder blades around the back of your heart. yourself a couple more breaths. Take note of which arm landed on top. For me, it was opposite arm as leg, so left arm on top, right leg on top, and you're just gonna lift up, bring your hands back behind you, unwrap your legs by bending them out in front, feet to the floor, and windshield wiper your knees a little side to side. You can take time to linger on each side. Good. And when you're ready, you'll come back up. Stack the other leg on top, so left leg on top. Gomukhasana or double pigeon. Wiggle around to feel into this side. You might stay lifted, or at some point you might fold forward. Maybe crossing the arms here. Give yourself as much time as you need here. Maybe a gentle twist over to one side and then over to the other. Whenever it feels like time, we're going to unravel, send the legs out, and lie all the way down onto your back. Bending your knees, walking your feet in. For any position really that feels good, I'll offer up bridge pose, maybe supported with a block, or wheel pose. But if you've got another shape, by all means, right? Listen to the direction your body's taking you. If you're with me in supported bridge, really let your sacrum soften towards the block. You could play around with extending one leg or both legs long across the mat. But this is really near the end of the practice. In particular, is this like really amazing time where you've been building dialogue and relationship with your body for an hour. And you get the opportunity to sort of see what it's like to be really hearing each other. And sometimes that means that we can get a clearer signal of what the body needs and what organic movement feels like. Sometimes that's not the case, right? And in both cases, we're learning something really important. And at some point, if your explorations take you towards an inversion, you could play around with block behind the heart for supported fish, or block underneath the hips for supported shoulder stand. I'm doing like a little restorative vibe here with a block and then a bolster over it. So I can lie back and open my chest. But play around with building your own little castle. I took this. I was such an amazing diva. I actually feel really proud of this. I took this training in Asheville a billion years ago in 2011, which is my 500-hour yoga teacher training on the classic texts of yoga. And I just felt very dramatic about the fact that we had to drive all the way to Asheville for this training, which is so valid, right? And I'm not someone who loves driving. So by the time we would get there, Asheville Yoga Center had these stacks and stacks of bolsters. And I am not making up or exaggerating at all when I say I would probably get something like 14 of the 20 bolsters and build myself this epic studying and learning palace for the weekend. Because you know what? Life is just too short to not use the pillows that are available to you. And what a joy it is to be able to create a nest where you feel you are comfy enough to be open to learning, right? Learning actually just requires a lot of our body and spirit and mind, which is what's so beautiful about it, and how it keeps us in such like life, right? It keeps us so alive. And in order to do that kind of vulnerable work, we really need to feel supported and held. Take your time in these shapes. If there are any other shapes that your body is needing to complete your experience of practice tonight, you're welcome to take a twist on your back. Or if you're coming through shoulder stand series, to take plow and fish. Eventually we're going to land in some resting shape. That can be on your back, stretched long. That can be curled on your side, supported by blankets and pillows. Let it be yours. Feel into the space in the earth that sort of allows you to mold into it. You belong here. You belong on this earth. And feeling into being held is part of connecting to that. Connecting to the feeling of being wanted and being welcome. We all really need this and really deserve it.
Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Niralambaya Tejase. Niralambaya Tejase. You might like to rest here on your back as I read to you, or you might like to come up to a seated meditation position to listen, whatever feels right for you. We've been reading the Radiance Sutras and we made it through all 112 of the sutras. But there's a second part of the book, and it's the practice transmissions. So the first ones are like mantras, right? They're short Sanskrit phrases that help us to connect to the awe and wonder in the world. And this next part is literally like a dictionary, but it's a dictionary of all of the practices that bring us into yoga, bring us into joining, right? Huge yoga to yoke. So I feel kind of excited to explore this part with you, right? This sort of list of opportunities. And it says, you can experiment, and with personal observation, you get direct contact with the soul and with the luminosity of it through these concepts. So the first one is prana, and we'll read it today. Prana means filled, full, the breath of life. Respiration, spirit, vitality, the 5 vital airs, prana, apana, vyana, samana, and udana. Breath as a sign of strength, vigor, energy, power, with all one's strength or all one's heart. The practice. Bhairava begins the 112 yuktis with this invitation to Devi. Urdhva prana. As we exhale, the breath of life flows upwards into heaven where it came from. Urdhva meaning upward moving, right? Like Urdhva Mukha Svanasana is upward facing dog. Upward moving, rising to go upwards into heaven. Prana being the breath of life. The next 2 words are adas jiva. As you inhale, the breath of life flows downwards through the body to the genitals. Adas means below, down, in the lower region, the external genitals. And specifically the woman's body of the labia majora, the labia minora, the clitoris, and the vagina. Jiva means the individual soul, the living or personal soul as distinguished from the universal soul, and the principle of life. Breathing is rhythm, a play of opposites. Here you are invited to enjoy the play of prana, the universal breath of life, and jiva, the individual soul, the way the breath of life condenses into you. Another play of opposites is up and down, upwards into the sky above you and downwards into the brightness of the pelvis. A good way to initiate yourself into this practice is to go outside where you can feel the sky and earth and take a standing posture. As you breathe out, let your hands flow upward along the front of your body to the area above your head. As you breathe in, let your hands flow back downward toward the pelvis. So usually, right, we reach up on the inhale and exhale down. And this is the opposite, right? We're feeling into the opposites. This is an easy gesture, right? After you get the sense of this wonderful flow, you can continue the movement in any posture. Inhaling downwards. Receive the nourishing fullness of your individuality. Exhaling upwards, give your breath to infinity. As you exhale, whisper the word prana to yourself and notice your relationship to the mystery of universality. Follow the motion upwards from your heart into heaven. As you inhale and receive the breath, whisper jiva and notice your relationship with the mystery of individuality. Allow your attention to travel down from space above your head to your heart, to your legs, to your feet. Everywhere in the body is sacred and spiritual. Breathing out, quietly celebrate, I am part of the life of the universe. Breathing in, marvel, I am a living soul, an individual. What a beautiful beginning. And our animal card tonight is dragon, which I'm so excited for. So here's the sweet dragon's eye. And this is the oracle deck that we're working with this year. So I'll read to you about dragon. Seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our internal. When the dragon is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It's like we're traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. We may look in the mirror deep into our eyes. We may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon breathing transformative fire into every cell of our body. This is just another word for prana, right? Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We let the breath, we let the prana guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. Yeah, it is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni, their inner fire, is dim. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of sacred intelligence in you. So I offer that to you with so much love as we continue to awaken in our practice and our path together. Thank you all so much for being who you are. It's such an honor. I love you so dearly.